Hi, this is Alex from phpacademy.org with a video tutorial for the new Boston. In this tutorial we're going to be installing a plugin and using it on our page here where we have a paragraph of text. Now what we're going to be doing is we're going to be installing this particular plugin here, found at this web address just here. So if you want to go ahead and just go ahead and type this into your browser, you'll obviously come onto the page and we'll look at downloading it and installing it on here. And we're first of all going to be looking at it in terms of sending a variable to the particular page. For example, at the moment we're on index.php and we're going to be highlighting a particular word. So for example, search. And the first thing that this will do is it will highlight any keywords with the any words on the page with the search term search. So this word here will be search, will be highlighted. For example, if we were to change this to A, for example, every letter in here with A would be highlighted just here. So let's go ahead and first of all look at how we're going to install this plugin, and then we'll go ahead and actually create this in this way. We're then going to be creating a more dynamic search on our page using jQuery to actually search. So we're first of all going to be using a form that will submit this get variable, and then secondly we'll look at actually installing it with a button and an event handler. So like I said, if you go over to this page, we can come down here, you can see a demo of this, but we'll skip that just for now. And you can download this file here, jQuery.highlight.js. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that, and this just gives me the code for this plugin. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and copy that and open up my text browser, my text editor. You can see I've got ext.js, which is already included in my page, and I've got style.css, which is included as a style sheet up here. We're going to be creating our form just here, but first of all we want to go ahead and create a file for this plugin, and also then include that on the page. So the first thing we want to do is create a new document and just paste the contents of this plugin in. We want to go ahead and save that in our JS folder, and I'm just going to save this as highlight.js. So now I've saved this file. We can confidently go ahead and just close that off now, but now we need to go ahead and include it on our page. Now ext.js is where we're going to handle our jQuery, so we're going to do that in just a moment. However, we need to go ahead and include this plugin first. So let's go ahead and say script type equals, and we'll just close our script tag off there. It's a text JavaScript type, so text JavaScript, and the source we just need to go ahead and include JS / and then we saved it as highlight.js. So now that we've got this plugin available to use, we can actually go ahead and use it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm not going to include the original functionality that I said with regards to highlight equals search. I just feel this is going to be a bit too sort of long-winded and everything. We're going to need an additional plugin to read the variables as well. So what I'll go ahead and do is we'll just go and do it the jQuery way. I guess that's a bit more appropriate as well. So okay, inside another paragraph tag I want to go ahead and create my form. So at the moment on my page we just have this sort of paragraph of text. Now what we want to go ahead and do is just create first of all a text input type, so text like that. And then we want to go ahead and create a submit button as well, or just a plain button. So the type in this case is going to be button. So the value here of the button is going to just be find, and you'll see that gives us the result here. We've got a text input field and a find button. So we're going to go ahead and type something into here, click find, and the relevant information is going to be highlighted on the page. Now as part of this plugin, we're going to need to specify a highlight class inside style.css, and obviously this can be tailored to how you want the particular word to be highlighted. For example, you could just want it bold, or in any case it doesn't really matter. In this case we're just going to highlight it with a background of yellow just to keep things simple. So we need a way to reference these input fields, or this input button as well, using jQuery. So we're going to need to go ahead and give these an ID. So this one here, ID. This one here is going to be search_term, so we can use that to grab the value of the text that we've typed. And here I'm going to call this search_button. Okay, so now that we've done this, nothing on our page has changed. We just have our text field and find, but we need to go into ext.js to actually pick up and apply an event handler to this button, which will then in turn grab the value from this text field. So inside ext.js, we're going to say document.ready. This just ensures that our document has loaded, our elements have loaded, or our DOM is ready and available to use. Sort of alternatively, you could go ahead and use window.load, but that's not really required in this case. So once our document is ready, we need to set up an event handler for our button. So I'm going to go ahead and reference or select our button, which is search_button. So we use a hash and then search_button, and we want to add the click event handler to this. Now inside here, once we've clicked this button, we're going to run the code just here. So the code that we want to run is obviously, first of all, we need to retrieve the value that we've typed into here. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and create a variable, and this is going to be called search_term, which is going to be equal to selecting search_term and then .val. So .val in jQuery just returns the value of the search term. So I'm going to go ahead and just alert the search term out, just to see if we've got everything working. I'm going to go ahead and type in here search and click find, and you see we have an alert dialog box saying search. So essentially what's happened is we've clicked the button. Once we've clicked the button here, we grab the search term using val from this search term text field here, and then we just go ahead and alert that out. Now obviously we don't just want to alert it out, we want to highlight it. So at the moment we can't highlight anything unless we have a class set up to deal with to essentially highlight it. I'm going to go ahead and open highlight.js again just so we can take a look. You see that essentially what happens when we search is we create a span element around this particular search term. So if we were to type search in here and click find, a span element will be created around this search, and the class that belongs to it, you can see here span.className, is equal to highlight.